Hello. Anyone around here speak basketball?
This is Adam Silver.
Trust in Masai. Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks
Basketball Podcast.
I am your host, Freddie Rivas. And who, sir, are you, Mr. Producer?
Matt Duncan, producer, Esquire. I'm dropping Esquire in now.
Sure, please
test
do.
it out. You know, we're halfway through 22 almost. So I think we should all be rocking a little Esquire, whatever that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means at all. But, let's just move on. If you're tuning into this podcast for the first time or you're coming back, thank you regardless. We're with Raptors Republic. We are hardcore Raptors fans. We got analysts, we got comedians.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're a sports nut, if you're a basketball nut, you're welcome on the show, and it's a good place for you to listen. But if people want to help us out, make us like a big time pod, like rival, I don't know, The Daily on New York Times. How are we going to do that, Maddie?
You know, we've got our links down there in the description. I like to do the bottom point now. We've got our link tree set up so that it can take you to raptorsrepublic.com, our Patreon, as well as, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. Please, subscribe and rate. Also, we've got chapters set up so you can skip ahead if you want to, just beeline it right to the NBA talk, or you just want to hang in the Raptors talk. I try to make it as easy as possible for you to move around when you're watching those videos. So yeah, thank you for that. And we're kind of relaunching our Patreon right now. Freddie and I are kind of discussing different things that we want to bring into it for extra content and stuff, and as well as continue what we were doing before. So we will have more on that soon when we get that a little more organized.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Maddie. If you're listening, you have content suggestions, hit us up. We're in the, I don't know if we're in the dog days of summer. I feel like that's like the hottest days, but we're rounding. Yeah, we're in the dog days of spring. That's a thing, right?
Yeah.
But I think before we get going here, I've been saying every podcast, please check out the Pickup WNBA podcast with me and one of my favorite people, Catherine Niker. We're covering the Brittany Griner situation as well as the WNBA. So make sure you check that out. And, with Brittany specifically, make sure you stay informed. And it's an important story that, I don't think should be neglected in these current times. But without further ado, let's start bringing the guests on. I'm really, really excited. This first guy, it's his first time joining the show. Hopefully not the last. We hit it off right away playing poker the other weekend. I think he thinks I hustled people. I mean, honestly, maybe I did. Like, let's just pretend that I did. But no, I got super lucky. He's an awesome dude. I had a great time meeting him, and he's hilarious. And, I've checked out a bunch of his work since. So give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, from TSN Edge, Wesley Cheng.
Hey. Ooh, listen to that. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Everybody gets their own music. That's the thing.
Oh, that was thematic. I like it. Well, thanks for having me, Freddie. It's a pleasure to be here, man. Always good to talk some hoops.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, man.
And I don't know if this is good or bad for you, but that will always be your music. Matt files it away, and even if you're potting with us from years from now, that will be your song. So I hope that's okay.
No, that's it. File it in, man. I don't mind stamping that one bit.
Okay, sweet. And listen, a lot of people have good backgrounds on here. That's just a primo looking background, I gotta say. Like, the shelves are lined up, the basketballs are lined up. It's a lot better than my 2 doors.
Listen, you got to go to IKEA. You got to get the generic setup and then just slot it in with whatever junk you have. Like you can even tell, like if you look over here, some of these are pretty old, man. I got a Houston Rockets James Harden back there, so that's a way back playback. So I don't pretend that this is an up-to-date setup, but I try to fill it in where I can.
Listen, Houston Rockets, James Harden. That's a specific time in basketball history that is I want to say glorious, but not really, because
probably his best though. Probably his best. So we'll go with that.
Cool. Let's bring on guest number 2. He's an awesome dude. We bonded over basketball a long time ago. We play together sometimes. Wicked comedian. He runs a show at Winona. He also runs the Toronto Sports Pod. He made the debut on the show a couple weeks ago, and I'm happy to have him back on Raptors Republic. Give it up as loud as you can, even if you're at home alone, for Darren Menezes. That's a very this intro is a lot more like it's one of those.
It's more my vibe, man. This is perfect for me.
Yeah, man.
I need this also. Every time I enter a room, I need this playing.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I gotta say, shout out to anyone who holds the mic on the pod. I always feel like, man, are they about to start walking around and shit? Cool. Let's
I just need to hold the mic at all times. Otherwise, I'm just like, what do I do? But yeah, I have a way worse background than Wesley. But I have a finger painting of like a cowboy that my wife got from I don't even know where she got it from, but that's my background, and this is what we're doing here.
We're good, probably has like sentimental value, and
definitely.
I don't know, finger paintings are cool.
Definitely not. She's like, this is a cool painting, and she bought it for $5, and that's it. Now it's on the wall. It's on the wall.
Listen, banger.
You guys are downplaying your backgrounds, but I truly have 2 white doors. So you know what I mean? Let's jump right into it, guys. Let's talk some Raptors ball. Matty, good sir, you're always cooking up weird audio stings for me. I don't know what's coming next, but please give me your most deliciously weird Raptors sting.
Hi, my name is Chicka Toronto Raptors.
Okay. Relevant.
Yes.
Relevant. Is that 25 years ago? Is that like a classic car old? What age is that rap song?
Yeah, it's probably 25 years.
Yeah, I can say 97, 98 for sure.
Yeah, probably, man. Damn. That was around the time where I was like, is his name Eminem or Slim Shady? I still didn't know at that point. Pre-8 Mile, maybe.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, let's go right into it. Darren, I'm gonna hit you first. As always, my questions are so convoluted, but I'm gonna try to dumb this down a little bit. I mean, it's rumor season. The playoffs are obviously still going on. We'll get to that. But I think as any like hardcore, Masai era Raptors fan knows, the rumors never really like go with what this franchise is.
Yeah.
And it's no different this summer. There's like, hey, the Lakers are gonna interview Nick Nurse, trade Pascal for scraps. Like it's actually, I think some of the Pascal trade stuff has died down a little bit because he had such an incredible year. But I mean, like, it's with Gobert, with DeAndre Ayton, just there's a lot of like, let's trade the farm, even though we're good, type sentiment. So I want to just like for the fun of it, reverse that. So please give me like a trade. Doesn't have to be like, perfectly capped out, but please give me a trade that's like that would benefit the Raptors way more than it would another team. Like people always try and make us like a feeder team or a farm team in their trade scenarios. So I want to kind of just reverse that. Like who's someone that would make this team better and we could give them scraps.
Okay. Well, basically what I understood the question to be is like, who would we just grab? Which all-star would we grab? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Like that?
From
any
team.
Works. So basically I just went straight from the top. I was like, first of all, I want Embiid mostly because I want to save him from the heartache he has. There's too many crying memes of this guy. First of all, like just going through a real rough time. He's not hiding it well. He needs to come to our team. We need to save him. Who would we trade? I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't think about who, because I got too into the numbers basically, and I was
Fair.
like, OG. I don't know. I was thinking about it too much, but then I was just like, I don't know. If we're talking about Jokic, Embiid, or Giannis, any one of those MVP candidates, give me those. I'll trade my kid. Is basically what I'm saying. For those guys. Oh my god. I think we'd have to trade obviously top players for it, but that's pretty obvious and sad. So I don't want to say it. So I'll just say my kid, less sad. Nobody.
Yeah, somehow that's less
just
sad
me.
to you.
Just me being sad. That's okay though, right?
That's very noble.
I'll do
of
it for
you,
the
man.
culture. I'll do it for the culture. That's all I'm saying. But
I love it.
I mean, we want the big guys. I think we need the big guys. So I'd obviously go for the top. But I think for like vibes, you know, for who I really love and want is Shy. I do want Shy. Oh man,
I like that.
That would be
like
amazing,
that.
wouldn't it? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah. No,
SGA is definitely a top vibes pick for sure.
Yeah.
You got to get him back. You got to get him somehow. Masai can pull that off.
Yeah. That's like, I mean,
because
I feel like, because it's the Thunder. It's like, you know, what's possible there? It's like Presti, like, does he want every single pick that's ever existed? Like,
exactly.
So, you know?
That's what I was thinking. I was like Shy, and then a lifetime of picks, basically.
Exactly.
We'll give you all the picks. Have fun.
Yeah. And then the Thunder probably need to like hit that salary floor because they spend so little money. So we can dump some stuff on them, you know, just fill in the roster for them, and we get a little, SGA love back our way. That'd be awesome. That is a top vibes play. I didn't even think about that. I like that.
Yeah, that's I was running with that in my head a little bit. That's like pretty close to my answer. I love Embiid though, because I feel like this is sort of the spirit of the idea. Like I remember when Hayward was with Utah, it was like years in the making when Boston's like, Hayward's good, wants to play with Brad Stevens. And like, they started that like such a long, and then, obviously like Davis to the Lakers. And like, I'm trying to work that angle, right? Like work this angle. Like what if we could just be this annoying city who's like, hey, your best player is going to come here. What are we going to give you? Honestly, who cares? They want to come here. Your city sucks. You know what I mean? Like that's it. They just want to leave you and come here.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously Embiid, like, we'd have to trade, whatever, a lot of people on our team, but maybe we just start drumming up the like, Masai, Embiid connection, him and Pascal, both from Cameroon. Like maybe that's some kind of angle. Trust the process, which means that like Embiid's going to leave. That's part of the process.
Yeah.
But yeah, SGA is probably like more like, in the practical world, but I still like it. Okay, Wesley, what's up?
No,
who's your guy? Who's your target?
I mean, if you mentioned him earlier, so if we're going to do kind of somewhat unrealistic, but I also categorize it as like distress situations.
Ooh.
So let's get Anthony Davis on the Raptors and let's just make that work. We'll find a way. We'll do whatever. Okay? I don't care. I don't care that he gets hurt as much as he does. Let's not forget, this guy's only 28.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is still in his prime. Okay. So a lot of people sleeping on him. The Lakers seem a little kind of like in shambles right now. They're trying to steal Coach Nick Nurse. What's going on? All right. Jenny Buss is like screaming about how things aren't right. They got to fix it. Let's just blow it up. Let's be the Lakers to the Lakers. All right. Let's steal Anthony Davis from them, give them whatever scraps that we can fill in the salary match. And then we get our center that we need, a dynamic, rim running, two-way center. Anthony Davis is the dream.
Whoa.
Which would never happen.
Yeah, listen, this is a never happen type question, but I love it. Like, let's just reverse it on the Lakers.
Yeah.
Let's give him a taste of medicine.
And Kyrie, it's like he set a type of precedent, which is like, it's LeBron doesn't always call the shots. Like Kyrie left LeBron. So maybe a guy like Davis, in this insane scenario is like, I don't think that Westbrook and LeBron is going to work. I think maybe I'm young enough to win. Maybe I'm worried about my own health and I want to slide in somewhere like Kawhi. and this is a good culture, good franchise. You know, maybe his yeah, we do a reverse clutch, right?
Well,
Everyone's
that's
like,
the thing.
oh,
Yeah.
you know, clutch. You want to go to the Lakers? It's like, or we're just like, you know, we're like, guess what?
Reverse clutch.
Everyone from clutch wants
Reverse,
to,
yeah, a reverse.
they all want to
clutch
come here.
player. Yeah.
I like
AD,
that one.
you know, he's already got his championship, so that's on the mend. He doesn't need to go chase too many rings. He probably doesn't want to stay in the shadow of LeBron forever, right? This guy, you know, the prime window is a little narrow, so maybe he decides, hey, if you're not going to trade me, I'm going to go figure it out on my own, and that's he goes and requests a trade.
What if that was the trade, though? What if the Lakers like, yeah, we really want Nick Nurse. We'll give you Anthony Davis. We're just like, what?
Ooh,
What
that's
do you
an
mean?
interesting, spicy,
Like,
spicy
if
trade.
that's the
Listen,
yeah, if that's the actual trade, we'll be like,
I love Nick
I guess we have
Nurse,
to
but
think about
honestly, I would trade Nick Nurse and the Arkells.
I think, you know, that's a Masai move for sure. He would put that on the table and just be like, guys, this is the only way we're going to make it happen. So you want him, you want him. This is how you do it.
And, you know, obviously there's like that, you know, if we want to get like realistic or whatever, I'm sure there's like cap issues. But if Anthony Davis called Masai and he's like, how can you make this happen? Masai would be like, give me 20 minutes. Okay. I'm going to call some teams. We're going to ship some salaries and we'll get Davis a nice comfy spot on Drake's jet, and he'll be flying to TO quick.
Yeah,
besides the one guy to pull that off.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess if that's the way it goes, like if a top player is actually like, "Hey, Masai, I want to come to your team," like he would just make it happen. Like that's just
100%
for sure.
Like that's just for sure. Yeah, take Nick Nurse, take all his hats, whatever you want. Like it's cool.
Take all his hats. Hey,
take all his hats.
Okay, like,
we hate making these hats.
The happiest people are the company that makes the Nick Nurse hats. They're like, you don't understand how like labor intensive these hats are, man. Thank you. Nobody thinks about us. Well, I think both you guys, you know, you went right to the top, which I love.
We went for the top, yeah.
Well, Davis is also like sneaky, like semi possible and like a weird.
Alternate universe.
Yeah,
things like kind of all fall apart. I mean, the pieces got to go somewhere.
Essentially, like if that's how we get our star guys, if they're injured, like Kawhi wise, like that could happen. That's very possible, I guess.
That's the blueprint. That's the Masai blueprint, you know?
So I guess it's not very possible, but you know.
There is a narrow, some decent odds, as a betting guy would tell you. Some reasonable odds.
So, Darren, I sort of went your way with SGA, not SGA specifically, because that's almost like actually in the ether. Like I see the SGA, like give me SGA stuff, save SGA stuff. I've been seeing that for a little while on Twitter. But the other Canadian who I'm like, okay, this guy needs saving. I don't believe in this franchise's ability to ever be competent. Give me RJ Barrett. Let's start the rumors right now.
Very good.
He's young. Maybe his dad, like, you know, he starts getting louder. Like, you know, Rowan Barrett Sr. is basically just like, bring my son home. You know what I mean? Like, like he starts like, you know, taking out like, whatever. In the Lincoln Tunnel. Are there ads in the Lincoln Tunnel? Whatever. Let's just say he, you know, buys the front page of the Times or the Post or whatever. And he's just like, bring my son home.
Yeah.
You know, they don't obviously
that's
the Knicks, you know, they don't want to trade us. I think this is a pretty unrealistic scenario, but this whole thing is just pretending that the Raptors can bully some people. So
that's a great pick.
I can see them pulling it off. Yeah, they can pull it off. I'm sure they can find a way. Again, I believe in Masai. He'll find a way to make that deal if it was meant to be. Yeah, RJ Barrett, man, I think he's kind of getting slept on. I mean, he's got a lot to improve on, obviously, right? Like he's shown a lot of growth, shown a lot of upside, but you know, he's still got to work on that shooting. But I think in the Toronto system, like you'll see pretty big leaps and bounds growth in terms of his defensive stuff, and I think his shooting will get better too.
Oh yeah,
I think you know, I'm a big kind of culture development guy. I feel like I say this all the time on the pod, but I became like a season seat holder with my brothers during, you know, Bargnani's first year. And I rode the Colangelo waves, you know, Capono, Turkaloo. Like I went through it. And, you know, with Masai, I'm kind of like, oh, it's I guess it's a little less exciting. It's a little less flashy, but
Yeah.
also you actually win. So
yeah.
in the end, I'm like, you know what? I think winning's pretty great. Like it's cool to have big trades all the time, but there's just not a lot of Masai mistakes. It's like, DeMar Carroll, Bruno, some people say Malachi, there's just really not a lot of big mistakes out there for Masai, but I'm glad we're all open to dreaming a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get even a little bit sillier. Maddie, please come in. You're always welcome for the weirdest questions. Because that's your specialty, baby. But you're like just driving around on your snowblower in the summer. Wesley, I want to start with you on this one. I think rightfully so. Everyone's excited about J. Cole coming to the CEBL. He's coming to Scarborough. It's pretty cool. Like, I watched his game in the African League, and I assume the African League's a little bit higher quality basketball. I probably haven't done enough research to know really, but the guy can actually ball. Like, I remember watching that first commercial where he's like, "You think this is a joke? It's not a joke." And I was like, "Is it a joke though?" Like, I kept being like, "Okay, is it a joke though? You're a professional rapper. Like you hit a bunch of threes and you look good." But anyways, I remember watching him in the Basketball Africa game, and he wasn't like special or anything, but I was like, the guy can play basketball. Like, he's pretty good. So let's just imagine, it doesn't have to be a rapper. It doesn't have to be someone who's even in playing age. Just like someone, if you're dreaming, like just imagine someone could play basketball like at, let's say, like a G League level. And we get to bring them on to the Raptors. Any celebrity you can think of. I just want to know where you're at. Like, who would be fun to watch? Maybe you're a fan of their other work. Maybe you just think it would be a sideshow. Wesley, who's your celebrity that you want to bring on to the Raptors?
Considering this is a joke question,
Yes.
I kept thinking about who would be one of like the most ridiculous two-sport athletes to play, basketball and something else, right? So perhaps the audience is not as familiar with him, but this guy has become a gym rat in his sport. And I just think it'd be hilarious to see him somehow magically have skills to do it. Let's get a guy like Bryson DeChambeau from the PGA, this crazy jacked guy who is trying to change like how golf is being played in this day and age. And then he just becomes some ridiculous dude that shows up in this the CEBL league, suddenly has basketball skills. We get the most strange two-sport athlete the world has ever seen, and we get a guy like that showing up.
I love it. That's a great answer. Shout out to my little brother Thomas, who's a huge golf fan. Like, he's been sending me Bryson videos for some time now. Like, so his whole thing is that he's like jacked, right? And he's changing, like he can drive like way further than everyone, right?
Yeah, like I throw my back out just watching him swing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just insane how this guy does it. But like, he does it consistently enough that he actually is a very top tier. Like, he's top tier.
And is he like Happy Gilmore? I don't know enough about golf. Is he like Happy Gilmore style, or like the rest of his game is pretty good too?
The rest of his game is pretty good too, but like I think he himself sees some like Happy Gilmore vibes in who he is.
Yeah.
So
I'm into that.
Let's bring that to the CEBL, man. Let's make it a full, like circus show. Let's get all the guys in there we can.
That's a great
great
two-sport. Great two-sport guy too, right? Golf and basketball. That's awesome.
I was gonna say bring J.R. Smith back, right? Who's trying to do college golf right now.
Oh my God, yes,
true.
But let's go the other way. Let's just get like a button-up golf guy to come just play some basketball for some reason.
That's great.
I love that. Like his first game, it's like it's like that Bruno Caboclo first game where like someone throws him an alley oop, everyone's going crazy, and he just throws it down. It's like, Bryson, good dunk.
Good at this.
That would be I think the most like that, or like F1 racing. I feel like that would be you're in super weird territory for like actually being able to play basketball.
Why not?
I love it though. Okay, Darren, who's your celebrity? We already got one really good answer.
Okay. First, I want to say shout out Jalen Harris. He just signed with Scarborough also. And
I saw that.
I love that a lot. And another new team is Montreal. So a celebrity person for that is Win Butler, because I remember him at the Toronto All-Star game, and he was really good.
He won MVP three years in a row.
Oh, okay. So the other one,
celebrity All-Star, he can ball. I think he's like 6'5" or 6'6" too.
Yeah, but the only answer that matters here is Adam Sandler. Sandler, he's the best. He loves basketball. He's always like on like in these runs with like Trae Young and like all these random basketball players that just want to play with them. And I think he can play. Like he can actually play. And also, yeah, he's the Sandman. Happy Gilmore. We brought him up. I thought you guys were gonna quickly bring him up, but I got scared there.
That's a great hit. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Something like Sandman in there. Imagine Sandman in Scarborough. Well, he'd kill.
He supposedly he drops sick dimes. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He can I've seen him dribble too. Like he's definitely someone who he's not like the NBA like celebrity games coming up and he like trains for a bit. Like he's someone you can tell like he's been playing. Like he can definitely play.
Yeah, I feel like he's too good for the celebrity game too. Like he doesn't want to play with those guys. He's like, I play with actual NBA players. Why would I?
Yeah, he's like, I can't get injured around these scrubs.
yeah. He's like, I'm not gonna play with Justin Timberlake. I play like Trae Young. Screw this.
I love it.
Yeah.
Win Butler, Adam Sandler. These are good answers. Okay,
I like that.
Maddie, I know all your references are perhaps 25 years old, so we might get a throw. Just kidding. We might get a throwback here, but who's your celebrity?
Well, I chose an old CFL player.
Okay, really?
I did. Technically, I did. Okay, first of all, I misread that question, and I thought we had to pick like a Canadian celebrity. So I was like, "Fuck, Bryan Adams." Like I was trying to figure.
Bryan Adams.
That would be sick.
I'm trying to think of somebody. But then I was like, okay, this guy technically is a Canadian citizen, and I think he'd be fantastic at protecting the rim, taking charges. I don't know how that would go. Could be dangerous. Without further ado, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Ooh, yes. That's a nice pick. I like that.
Yes.
He's a Canadian citizen?
He's from Alberta or something?
No, it's his dad. His dad was born in Nova Scotia, and apparently they changed the law that anyone born after 1947, if you have a parent who was born in Canada, you are automatically a Canadian citizen. So The Rock is a dual citizen for the States and Canada.
Right on.
Yeah.
We'll claim him.
Okay.
We got to claim.
Oh, for sure.
And he was a former CFL guy, so I didn't lie there.
Yeah. I think he almost bought the CFL too. Wasn't that
the whole league?
Yeah, probably something like that.
Like he owns the XFL, and then he like tried to join CFL and XFL. Anyways, why do I know that?
Oh my god!
Listen, we're here for the weird knowledge, okay? Like people come for basketball.
I'll see myself out.
CFL, XFL crossover.
I just also trivia. I don't know how taking a charge would go with him. Because he's not gonna fall back. Whoever runs into him is gonna probably go right back to center court. So it's gonna be a little tricky for the refs. We're always complaining about the refs, so it could be a little tricky.
Yeah, I want to see some of those picks,
But when he's planted, So
for sure. Like someone gives him the people's elbow.
Yeah.
Everybody goes crazy. Like, oh my god! They're like, oh, Tech, I don't know. This guy's awesome.
Every single time, you just got rocked. Every single time.
Yeah.
So
you gotta stop grabbing Devlin's mic, dude. Like,
exactly.
You can't just talk for 15 minutes.
I'm writing these for Devlin.
Raw. Okay, I was like, I was going back and forth. Maddie, we're similar. I was thinking Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I was also trying to think height. So at one point, my answer was The Big Show, because I'm like, the guy's tall. Like, I mean, I don't know if he can run, but we're imagining, right? He's a big body. But I just tried to go as silly as I possibly could. Now, during the Joe Biden campaign, there was a video where he basically was in a gym interviewing people, and he just hit in dress shoes, such a clean three, and walked out the gym. My selection is Barack Obama.
Oh,
yeah.
He hit him.
Gotta do it.
A specialty shooter, you know what I mean? Like it would be really intense security, I think, for every game. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if like people could sit in the front row anymore. Like it would be nuts. But like you just bring him in, he hits a couple threes. I think also maybe grabs the mic, gives a quick speech. But yeah, his post game interviews would be huge. So I'm going Obama on this one.
They'd have to change the team name, like the Scarborough Shooting Stars to the Scarborough Secret Service. You know,
I like that.
They gotta bring them out. They gotta bring them out,
and they have to speed up speed up the building of the subway and the transit. Man, you got to make sure people can get out there. Okay, shit.
That's true. That's the only way we can do it.
Yeah, the only way is bringing in Obama. Right? He'd get it done. Okay, let's talk some NBA. Maddie, if you would, give me your most ridiculous, most current. That's what I'm gonna start saying. Give me your most current audio NBA sting.
What's the deal with the National Basketball Association? Well, the Confederacy of Dunks is gonna tell you.
Okay, this one's new. It's not. That's not Anderson Cooper. That was last week. Okay, I mean, wait, just before Matt says, does anyone know who that was?
No, that was nice though. I like that.
What comedian says what's the deal? Who's known for saying what's the deal with?
Was that Jerry Seinfeld?
Yeah, it's Jerry.
Well, Jerry sounds chopped up, man. Like I don't know what you did to Jerry. Like that's comedians.
He did start to sound Portuguese at the end. I don't know.
Yeah, really, Jerry's swerving there, man. I don't know. Like, let the guy rest. Jeez.
I like that.
Yeah, no. Shout out Jerry Seinfeld. Another current reference there. For sure. Maddie's like he's there with the kids. Like he's just like in sync with Gen Z, you know.
Seinfeld's still relevant. He's still relevant, right?
Oh, for sure. He drives cars. He drinks coffee. Come on. That's what we all do, right?
Yeah, he's the everyman.
Yeah, he's the everyman. You know, he's just like us. What's the deal with us? You know, not understanding Jerry's relevance. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes. Listen, sometimes you got to bomb a joke on your own pod, right?
That's right.
Okay. Darren, I'm going to go to you. This is probably the most like serious question of the pod because it's a weird one, but you know, it's off season. Things are getting funky, but yeah, I've been thinking about this like crazy. So I'm not going to kind of give my answer, and I just want to hear what you guys have to say first. But I'm sure there have been series that have been like had this much disparity. But I swear, almost every game I turn on and, I always tell my wife, I'm like, okay, like if it's a really close game, I'm going to watch it. But if not, we'll watch some show. And we've been watching a lot of shows because pretty much like every first quarter, there's like 5 minutes to go in the quarter. And I'm like, pretty sure the game's done, which is strange because I feel like, there's a lot of like volume scoring in today's basketball. So I assume even if it's 15 points, I'm like, they can make a comeback.
Yeah.
But it's almost like the Luka Phoenix game like ignited something where it's just like thou shall not be a close game anymore. There's been a couple with Dallas and Golden State, but I think particularly Miami, Boston is like, what is going on here? Just like wild blowouts. But what do you make of it, Darren? Like, first of all, have you ever seen anything like this? And also, like, what's your explanation?
I mean, the consistency of the back and forth is super weird. Like, obviously, there's blowouts like all the time. Like, as Raptor fans, we know this for sure. But I think it's just the reliancy of like the threes. In these games, it's either like hit or miss, right? If you're missing your threes, like if Luka is driving all game and he's kicking it out, if Dinwiddie's not hitting, if Brunson's not, if these guys aren't hitting their threes, you're gonna get blown out, and that's the way it is. Like last night, it seemed that way for Miami. Like it's just if you're not hitting your threes, and the other team is just hitting their shots, like it's gone. Like you're game you can get a 20-point lead, a 15-point lead so easily, and it seems like 15-point leads are like really easy to come back now because of the threes as well. So I just think the threes are really standing out, and obviously like, you know, the team that started all, like Golden State, is really like showing it how it's done. Like even with like Dallas having like a big lead or whatever, they can come back so easily because they're just surrounded, right? So yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking for that. Like that's the only way. Like it seems like everyone defensively is actually not bad. Like nobody's really given up a huge amount, you know?
Totally.
So,
And, you know, yeah, Dallas is like not bad on D, and obviously Boston and Miami
No.
are good. You know, Golden State's good. So that's
Yeah.
that's a really good point. You know, I wasn't even thinking like that. It's not like this is all offense, you know, conference finals in the East and West. Like, but all these teams have defensive dudes. So that's kind of it's a bit weirder. Yeah, I think for, you know, I have a couple like, you know, combining factors in my head, but the 3-point variance is massive. Just like, you know, and not just are you making the threes, but I think also, you know, when you miss a three and another team is able to just run the other direction and hit a three, it's like that. It's kind of exponential, right? Like,
adds up real quick.
But where are you at with this, Wesley? Like, you know, is it just the threes? Is it other stuff?
I think Darren must have been like spying on my hit I did for TSN today. Because like I literally just did a hit that's going to be on like Sports Center later today. And we're just talking about exactly that. Like the 3-ball is just so crazy in the way these 4 teams play. You create just such extreme outlier like circumstances. I mean, the game 2 itself was nuts. Like Dallas was up 19 at one point. They lost by 9. But like to circle back to Darren's point, all 4 of these teams have a very heavy dependency on the 3-ball. Like Miami was the number 1 3-point shooting team in the regular season. Golden State started this whole thing. Dallas is about to break an NBA record in this series for the most 3-point shot attempts ever by any team in a playoff series.
Wow.
So they're on pace for that tonight. And then Boston is top 10. So Boston's a top 10 team in 3-point volume. So all these guys shoot, you know, a ton of 3-pointers, and that's just how it goes. I think what Darren pointed out is right. Like the Miami-Boston series is a little bit stranger. If I could tell you, I'd be making millions of dollars. I don't know why it's been so crazy both ways. But it is, I mean, it's a really good point Darren brought up. But all these teams have been defensively elite. So it's kind of leaning into this whole 3-and-D era of how basketball's played. And all 4 of these teams are like that, except now you're seeing these like crazy outcomes, which like nobody can predict. So it's been nuts. And like, I'm a betting guy. This is my job. I'm supposed to predict stuff, right? I'm getting murdered. I'm getting murdered by these outcomes, man. These things are nuts. Nobody can predict this stuff, man. It's getting psycho. So I've been trying to make sense of all of it. And, you know, Darren hit a spot on. It's a 3-ball.
Folks, you know, if you're just meeting Wesley for the first time, he's lying. He's right all the time. Okay, you can trust him. You know, check out TSN Edge, like, you know. But like really though, it is kind of confounding. Like I'm really trying to rack my brain here, and the only additional thing I can say to, first of all, defense is a great point. Like, but that to me makes it even more confusing. Is pace, and I feel like teams are sort of not really. I'm thinking back to like Cleveland, Golden State, right? And you know, when Cleveland those first 2 losses, or was it 2 in a row? But anyways, the first loss, I feel like Cleveland tried to do this thing where they're like, we're gonna slow this down so much. We don't know how to deal with what Golden State's doing, but we know that we can force them to play more defense. And I think that teams are really trying to, like, it seems anyways, like shoot their way back into this. And I don't know if it was one of the Van Gundys. So someone was saying during the Golden State series that Golden State is actually just like filling it up in the paint. So that made me think, like, you know, does Golden State, are they the one team out of the 4 here that like actually it's a counter? You know, they can shoot the 3, obviously, but they also are going to, continue attacking the paint. So they have like a more diverse offense. Like that's sort of where I'm at here. Obviously Luka's kind of drive and kick, and like, I think Miami and Boston are both like egalitarian style offenses that are like, lots of shooting. And then I also thought back to the Milwaukee Boston series, and Giannis is such a like paint juggernaut that I think there was less blowouts in that series, and maybe that's sort of, I don't know if I'm making a convoluted point here, but like if you can score a lot in the paint as well, maybe that helps keep things like, within reach. But
I guess that's the difference. If it's like, you have Giannis who gets most of his points inside, so you can get those points way easier. But if you're like, if they get a 3 and you're coming back trying to shoot a 3 and you miss, like if they hit 3 in a row, you miss 3 in a row, there's your 9-point swing right there, So it's such a big difference if you're relying on the threes on both sides. One team hitting, one team isn't, you're going to get blown out. That's just how it goes. But obviously, like it's like you were saying, I like that point about Golden State, like because they're more known for hitting their threes, they can kind of go inside because you're playing perimeter defense, I guess. And then they're like, I don't know, Steph's faking and then driving inside, or whoever, he's passing it inside to Draymond or something. But like guys like Luka or like maybe Jimmy Butler, these guys are like driving, constantly kicking. So it makes sense that Wesley was saying that Dallas is going to shoot the most threes, because like when Luka
that's crazy.
It makes complete sense, because like Luka's constantly kicking it out to like Bullock and all these guys like that are either hitting or not hitting. So
yeah, like Dallas, I think, has made a very concerted point to commit to a certain style offense.
Yeah,
so that's fine. The team is built that way, especially after the Porzingis trade. What Golden State, I think, is doing really well because of how their offense is probably more versatile than most of these other teams. Mavs have no rim protection. None.
Yeah.
So Golden State is just such a refined offense that they're just exploiting their weaknesses very well. So Dallas is overplaying the Warriors very heavily on the perimeter. The moment Steph catches the ball, before he even catches it, he's already taking half a step in towards the paint.
Yeah.
And no one's expecting that. So he's getting these wide open layups at the rim, and no one's there. So they're just doing like, I mean, that's kind of what you're seeing too in general, like league wide, like mid-range shots, right? For the longest time, they like it's been like, oh, avoid all mid-range shots. It's the new era. But then look at some of these guys who are really doing well in the NBA. They're guys that are now just like draining mid-range. Like Chris Paul had a great run last year. Even in this playoffs, he was pretty good. Where does he make all his money? He makes in the mid-range. And the reason why is because when opposing teams are setting up their defense, they're laying back. They're laying back into the paint and giving them so much space. Sometimes it's where like the best shot are available. And now, because everyone knows to defend the 3-point line, defend the paint, the mid-range is now more open. So now you're suddenly seeing some guys really. So it's always a cat and mouse game, right?
It is.
So,
it really is. Yeah.
So Golden State, we all know they can hit threes. Steph and Curry, cat and mouse game. They're like, we're just going to go right to the paint. And they've been killing them.
Yeah. I guess that's that's a level of like IQ that's off the charts with Golden State too, right? Like they're just, the amount of like high IQ guys on that team, it's just, they're playing with them, So like you're saying, like Steph's driving in like easily because he knows he can do that. They're just well coached. When you got Hall of Famers on the court, like just running around. So yeah, really stands out.
Yeah, this is also like, my favorite type of basketball talk, because one of the things I love so much about the NBA is like, people always say like it's a copycat league, but I feel like what's under that point is that there's always this team that's going to try and be different. And, obviously this is the Raptors podcast. I really enjoyed what the Raptors were trying to do this year. I like that it was different. I think our pendulum does have to swing a little bit more. We do need to shoot more threes. But, I remember watching the James Harden Rockets, and, they were just shooting a preposterous amount of threes. And I sort of like, I've wondered like, where does this peak? And I think maybe I don't want to say we're looking at like, the most extreme shot diets we'll ever see, because probably we aren't. But at the same time, it's kind of like, to Wesley's point, like, the mid-range shot is not valuable, I think, partially because it was overused, back to the basket basketball, all that kind of stuff. And I think like we've swung so far the other way that guys like CP3 and DeMar and, Pascal to a certain extent can just feast. And I think you can't have someone feasting either, right? Like, obviously 3 is more than 2 and that's exponential. And, we can't go back in time. Like it's never going to be like Charles Oakley, shooting a 18-foot, like whatever baseline shot. But at the same time, there is this interesting balance, right? And we'll see where it goes from here. And I'm wondering if anyone has any counters other than Golden State. But let's move on to this last question here. Wesley, I'm going to stick with you. We don't have to. We don't have to name all the Canadian players, but we got it up here on YouTube. I think actually, I hope I'm still correct here, but out of any country other than the U.S., I'm pretty sure that Canada has the most NBA players.
Yep.
Which, as a Canadian, as a Torontonian, I love it. It's just an exciting time to be a Canada basketball fan. There's a bunch of stuff that came out on Twitter today. Blake, Vivek, people are just talking about like who's committed to the team. Obviously there's a couple notable non-commitments, but I used to get more bent out of shape about that kind of stuff than I do now, because some of it's contractual, right? Like, so that's part of the deal. But anyways, I kind of wanted to imagine like anyone can play. They're all available to play. And if you put all these Canadian guys on one team, I don't need you to give me like a starting lineup and like rotation sort of thing, but just like, how successful would this team have been? If they were the 31st team in the NBA this year, like, and obviously we'll do the weird meta thing. There can be doubles. Okay. So there's 2 Wiggins, there's 2 Jamal Murrays, whatever, right? You don't have to take them away from the other team they're on, but, what Wesley, like, how good would this team be? Like what, and what type of team would it be?
Playoff team for sure. Maybe not as top heavy as some of these championship teams where they have like superstar guy.
Yeah.
But they would be a like super athletic, defensive minded, small ball, like speed team.
Yeah.
They would be one of the fastest teams in the entire NBA. And they would they would be kind of they'd almost be like Memphis, like that kind of team where it's just like, they just out-hustle you. They outwork you on the defensive end, and they got enough guys that can shoot that they'll be competitive.
That's like almost my answer exactly. So I'll just add that I think this team would have some like, I think some of the, real center stuff is overblown, because if you don't have Jokic or Embiid, what are we talking about here? Obviously Ayton's really good too. And, Gobert, there's some outliers, but, Bam 6'9". I don't know if it's correct, but Basketball Reference says Draymond 6'6". So I don't know if he's that doesn't seem right.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think
we'll let him run with that.
Yeah,
sure,
I think he's 6'7", 6'8", or I don't know. He's taller than 6'8".
I think he's taller than that.
I think he's taller than that. But I'm looking at some of these guys. We got Birch and Boucher, obviously, but like for the most part, Tristan Thompson, Lyles, like Olynyk. There's some guys who are sort of like 4s, right? But no one who's like, I don't think this team's that tough. Like, I don't know what they do at the rim. But I think the main point is this, that Wesley laid down was sort of, they're just not top heavy enough. But I think Memphis is a good comparison. Maybe there's no jaw, but I mean, man, when Jamal Murray was cooking, he was cooking. I think we haven't seen him in a little bit. We all forget about that, right? Like he was absolutely, again, I don't think it's fair to compare him to Ja, but I do think that Jamal Murray he's on a rise. Like that guy was, he did some big stuff, especially in the bubble, man. That Donovan Mitchell battle was just epic. But
Nice.
Darren, yeah, what do you think about this team? Are you with us where it's kind of like a playoff team?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
around?
I mean, they would be a great team. They would be a real fun team to watch. I mean, Shy, obviously, you know how much I love Shy. He'd be like, we have like a couple of stars like Shy and Murray, obviously. And who else was Wiggins. Wiggins, obviously, if he was playing for the team, that would be great. Just those three alone. That's like, if you're talking about this team being an NBA, you have three top guys right there. And then you have some, maybe Lou Dort, a 3-and-D guy. Boucher can kind of be a 3-and-D guy too. Powell Clark had a great playoff run. Like he was really impressive actually. There's
Brooks if you need someone to be nasty out there.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously you love Banton. Come on, Delano's there. Why not play him for fun? For the vibes, of course. Who else do I write down? Shea Brissett, man. Yeah, this team would be fun. I think
it would have talent.
I think it would be a playoff team for sure. It would be great to see them go against themselves, of course. RJ against RJ. If the Knicks ever made the playoffs, that'd be a thing. Yeah, this is the only way RJ would make the playoffs. Actually, okay, I'm liking this more. Trying to be more positive for RJ.
Yeah, let me also say, just like for a little bonus content here. For me, coaching staff's got to be like head coach Nash. You got Big Cat there.
Yes.
And then maybe bring back Rick Fox. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just like Rick Fox. I don't even know if he wants to coach, but just bring him on the sidelines. We need him there.
Yeah.
Shout out Bill Wennington, maybe.
Yes.
Bill Wennington's like, let me be, man. Let me just stay home.
Yeah. Do you know it'd be cool? Big Country. Remember him? He'd be cool.
Was he Canadian?
No, he was
Canadian,
not. He was not at all. But
his name's Big Country. Yeah, bring him on.
His name's Big Country, and I think Vancouver fans would love that. So
yeah, we got one guy that's not Canadian, and out of all the potential dudes, we're going Big Country. Reeves, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
How you doing? But guys, this has been a really fun pod. Thank you both so much. We got silly. We got into some, technical basketball stuff too, which I always appreciate. And let me say to anyone who's been listening, supporting, thank you so much. We're still, excited to be part of Raptors Republic and having a good time here. But let me go to you first, Wesley. TSN Edge for sure. Just plug away, please. Let people know. We'll hook you up if you're listening or watching. We'll definitely plug Wesley's socials and stuff. But
thanks, Ben. My socials, last name, first name, Cheng Wesley. All my stuff is usually on TSN Edge. You'll see my face pop up here and there on SportsCenter, like NBA pregame. Anything betting related, all right, especially on the Raptors, they'll always throw my face on it. So look out for me. Appreciate you following along.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, man. Appreciate you doing the pod. Hope to have you back soon.
Hey, I would love to be back.
And Darren, what's good, man? Winona Show podcast, like hit people up.
Yeah, Winona Ride or Die. That's the name of it. Nice name. Everyone loves it. It's at a bar called Winona Craft Beer Lodge. Toronto Sports podcast I do with my friend Sam about all Toronto sports. It's a lot of fun. And I'm going to be making a lot of bad prop bets with Wesley here pretty soon.
Damn right.
Give me 3 threes for Wiggins. I don't know. I suck at betting so much. Anyways,
I do too. I'm really bad at poker too. Okay, guys. Right on. Well, again, thank you both so much, and as always, thanks to Maddie D coming in with the the hyper relevant celebs and I'm burning him, but Matt's amazing. Best producer, love him. And
shout out to Brian Adams,
Yeah, shout out Brian Adams, right?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
He'd have to wear 69 on his jersey.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Like that's mandatory.
I really want, but you know what, Maddie, I demand you make a Celine talking Raptors type of reference for next pod.
That'd be perfect.
My heart will go on. Something I don't know. But again, thanks everyone. Appreciate all the listens, all the follows, everything. And yeah, check us next week. And Maddie, if you feel like we're good, we're done to go. We're done. We're good to go. Please just give me those sweet words I love so much. Okay.
Listen to the Confederacy of Dunks exclusively on the Rapcast.